I never believed in ghosts. I didn't believe until that incident. It happened to me a year ago, but I still shudder when I think back on those events. I still try to shake it out of my head, but I can't. It just won't leave me. I was 23 at the time. I had just moved to a new city and urgently needed affordable housing. I couldn't keep staying at my friend's place. I didn't want to take advantage of his hospitality. That's when his girlfriend suggested an option. She had an apartment inherited from her grandmother. The old woman had moved to a village, and the place needed to be rented out. Since I was looking for housing, they offered it to me, and for a pretty good price. Of course I agreed. It seemed perfect back then. The apartment itself was in a decent condition, not ruined with some basic renovation. The furniture was old, but nothing critical. We discussed everything and decided not to sign a lease. We knew each other, so it didn't seem necessary. I moved in quickly, and that's when the strange scenes began. At first they were subtle, nothing obvious, nothing too disturbing, but the signs were already there. It was a Friday evening, and we were celebrating the housewarming. We drank quite a bit, and eventually everyone went home. I went to sleep, but not long after, I woke up with a strange, unpleasant feeling, like something was wrong, like someone was watching me. I opened my eyes and looked at the doorway. The door was open, even though I clearly remembered closing it before going to bed. I got up, shut it, and lay back down. The moment I closed my eyes, I heard footsteps. Quiet, barely noticeable, but real. They seemed to be coming from the hallway. Then the door opened again. I turned on my phone's flashlight and pointed at the doorway. No one was there, but who was I even expecting to see? I must have had too much to drink, I thought. And the door, it was cold outside, probably just a draft. I got up, closed it again, and went back to bed. Nothing else happened that night. The next morning, I got up quickly and went to work. But before leaving, I noticed something strange. There were marks on the floor, black, like tar. I looked closer and realized they resembled footprints. What the hell is this? I muttered, grabbed a wet rag and wiped them away. Maybe one of my friends had stepped in something dirty and tracked it inside. That seemed like the most logical explanation. I cleaned everything up and rushed to work. The day was exhausting. No point going into details, it doesn't matter for the story. What matters is that it finally ended. I came back home completely drained, just wanting to eat something, turn on the TV and switch off my brain, which I did. At some point during the movie, I fell asleep on the couch, but not for long. I heard something fall and shatter on the floor, and I jolted awake. My heart started pounding. What the hell was that? I cursed. The sound came from the kitchen. Half asleep, I dragged myself, then saw the cup I had been drinking from lying shattered on the floor. Somehow it had fallen. How is that possible? I'm sure I left it far from the edge. Damn it. I turned to grab a broom, and out of corner of my eye, just for a split second, I saw a shadow slip past in the hallway. I froze, standing there with the broom in my hand, staring into the darkness. What was that? Did I imagine it? Of course I did. I'm alone in this apartment. There is no way anyone else could be here. As if to confirm my theory, I made a quick round through the entire apartment, and of course, there was no one there. Who did I even expect to see? I asked out loud. It all felt so strange. The rest of the evening passed without anything like that happening again, but the uneasiness didn't go away. There was no sense of comfort, no warmth, no calm, just a constant feeling of being watched, like someone was observing you. I kept watching the movie since I couldn't fall asleep, but I kept turning around out of reflex. What the hell is this? I said out loud at one point, turning again and seeing no one. It's impossible. I'm sure there was someone here. But then, who? Is anyone there? I asked into the empty room. The silence that followed was exactly what I expected. Nonsense. I'm just imagining scenes. I turned off the TV and went to the bedroom. I lay down and tried to fall asleep, and surprisingly, I slept until morning. Yes, I said it felt wrong, like I was being watched, but the moment my head hit the pillow, my eyes just shut and I drifted off. The next morning brought another surprise. I'm not even talking about the fact that the bedroom door was open again for some damn reason. No, the worst part was something else. Those black marks were back, not just on the floor, they were in my bed too. The blanket was smeared with some black substance. I rushed to throw everything into the wash, but on the way something else happened. I stepped on a piece of glass lying on the floor. I can't even describe how loudly I screamed. The pain was unbearable. The neighbors even came knocking, asking if something had happened, and something sure as hell had. I quickly started treating the wound. Luckily, I always had a first aid kit nearby, and while I was doing that, I heard a faint chuckle. I froze, lifted my head, listening carefully, but there was nothing. Did I imagine it again? Just my mind playing tricks? This is insane. And the glass, it was plate. How the hell did it end up on the floor when I had cleaned all the dishes? Did it move on its own? This isn't a coincidence. Something is happening in this apartment. Something else is living here besides me. I tried to push those thoughts away over the next few days. It felt too stupid to believe in something like a ghost, but everything pointed exactly to that. I didn't like it here, not at all. I decided to move out, find another place. I wasn't going to stay in this trap of a house. I started looking for other options. I didn't say anything to my friend or his girlfriend because, let's be honest, how would that sound? They help you find a place and you say something is living there? They would sound completely insane. Even I wasn't fully sure at that time. I kept trying to convince myself it was just a series of coincidences. But that evening, something happened that made me realize it wasn't. I spent the whole day searching through listings online, trying to find something affordable. It got dark outside and the thoughts of having to spend another night in that cursed place wouldn't let me relax. Like I said, I was sitting with my laptop when suddenly the outlet it was plugged into sparked. The lights in the apartment flickered and the charger was literally knocked out of the socket. I stood up and at the exact moment the door to my room slammed shut and then opened again on its own. I was genuinely terrified. My body started shaking. I shut the laptop and began getting dressed. I didn't care that it was already dark outside. I just wanted to get out of there as fast as possible. But I didn't get the chance. The moment I stepped out of room, I saw someone standing in the hallway. My throat tightened. It wasn't a person, it was something. A black figure. Its silhouette vaguely resembled a woman. It just stood there, staring at me with bright white eyes. I couldn't speak, I didn't know what to do, how to react to something so completely impossible, standing right there in my apartment. Then suddenly, it raised its hand, and I was thrown violently to the side. In that moment, all the dishes in the apartment started flying out of the cabinets, crashing to the floor, and shattering one after another. It was a nightmare. That thing, it began to laugh, a sound like a dead woman's laughter, With the last of my strength, I grabbed whatever I could and rushed toward the doorway. I ran out of the damn apartment, ordered a taxi with my last money, and got out of there. I decided to move into a dorm for the time being. My friend and his girlfriend kept calling, asking what had happened, but I told them only one thing, that someone had tried to rob me. I lied, because I knew they wouldn't believe the truth. And there is one more detail. After my friend's girlfriend's grandmother moved out, she passed away not long after, in her sleep. As from fear, the doctor said it looked like something had scared her. I don't know if it's connected to what happened in that apartment, but something tells me it is. I'm just glad I managed to get out of there.